We're here, fellas, boys. Welcome to the Put Work In podcast. The live stream is up and running just straight off the bat today
Why?
on Facebook and YouTube. We haven't been on Facebook in weeks.
Or YouTube.
I started a little early because I'm still eating my eggs. Forgot. Oops.
My neck's still burning.
Why's your neck burning?
I don't know, bro. It's just
burning.
like right there. You can't even see it. It's just burning.
You shave or something?
And like a week ago. But it don't
guess-
take that long for razor burn to kick in.
I think I'm going to wait to eat the rest of my eggs. I don't know if people... There's a particular set of people that will want to hear somebody eat eggs.
Oh, it's bedtime.
And if I do it here, we might alienate some people. They might just cut us off.
Fit aid.
Bring me some.
I'll bring you some in the morning.
Okay. Half marathon tomorrow.
Bro, it's gonna feel good in the morning.
What do you want to do, bro? We gonna try to PR?
I don't know. I PR'd on the treadmill.
What's your PR on the treadmill?
2:15.
I'm shooting for like 2:10.
I don't
We'll
know,
see
bro.
what happens.
I got a tempo run tonight, like a long tempo run. I don't know if I should run 2 tempo runs in 2 days.
No, you shouldn't.
Both 9 miles plus.
Well, if you do that, go hard today, it's gonna definitely affect you tomorrow. You haven't slacked up this week, have you?
Kinda. I didn't go Wednesday when I was supposed to.
My body slacked me up.
But
I was running Monday. We ran that. What did we run? 18 miles Monday, and then Tuesday I went to run. I was supposed to run an hour. I ran 47 minutes on the treadmill. My top of my foot is like wore out from just running for 18 miles, and then I had like a little hip flexor pain, which I don't feel it now, but Monday it was getting me. And I actually had that problem last year when I was running a lot. Well, I wasn't running a lot, but like just doing long runs without being prepared. That just tells me 18 miles came too early. But I mean, it didn't come too early in regards to the marathon, but it came too early in regards to my preparedness.
nhc.noa.
I really want a 2-hour half marathon, but 2:10 seems pretty reasonable.
And bro, what's going on with Hurricane Lee?
I don't know, bro.
All right, back to what I was actually
And then I went to
doing.
run Wednesday, so it's the third day of the week. So we did 18 miles, then I did 47 minutes the next day hurting. The next day, I was still hurting. And then it started raining about 5 minutes in, 2 minutes in, so I just turned around and did 5 minutes. And then the next day, I slept in. And then today, that's today, Friday. So today, I just haven't ran yet. If I miss it, I miss it. I've got a full week of running just off 2 runs, bro.
You're not going to jump ahead, are you?
I'm behind this month. It's over with. You just need to take 2 weeks off.
Not till October 16th.
So you wanting to do the St. Jude too?
Bro, I had that thought last night. I'm like, while I was running, I'm just like, shoot, I'm less than 2 months out from St. Jude once we hit Chattanooga. May as well just go for it too. What did they say?
If you take 2 weeks off, so that leaves you what? So it's October 15th. The marathon's like the first week of December. That leaves you 6 weeks. Take 2 weeks off. That's 4 weeks. If you do like a taper for 3 weeks, you get a 20-mile run and then just taper again.
Or I'd just take like 1 week off and then do like a 2 20s in a row and then taper.
I haven't really decided my exact plans. I might just take it chill for a couple weeks. Might just go right into Squattober. Might take a month off. Might do the marathon. Might do a couple other races just without even training for them. Just do them. for fun.
Look, I tell you what, man. Saturday, 5:30, right? When we taking out tomorrow morning.
Probably 6.
Oh yeah, you can't Uber tonight. By the way, you gotta go run in the morning.
Oh, I'm Ubering. I'm just not gonna be out till
1
1.
o'clock.
I stayed out till 10.
It's
10
gonna be
last night.
It's gonna be in the 60s until 9 o'clock. So that ought to be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. 70s is gonna be nice.
Nah, 70's too hot.
Anything outside of the 90s is big and nice. Towards the end of the run, 80s will hurt.
Like, bro, we never have a true 90. You know, it's whenever it's 90, it's humidity's jacked up, so it feels like 110. And anything less than 90, it's never like humid. It's just 80 something.
Cold.
It's like we just skip 90 altogether.
I need to wear a hoodie tomorrow.
Nah, dress 20 degrees warmer. You ain't dressing for 80 degrees wearing a hoodie.
That's 60. Wait. All right, so half marathon. Wait, here's what I want to talk about before we get into let's just talk about the half marathon. I seen somebody say split it into a 4-miler, a 6-miler, and then the rest. That's probably what I'm going to do. It's just kind of take the first 4 miles as like a warm-up, then do like on pace 6 miles, and the last 3 just send it 3.1.
Let's take a look. Pick an event, half marathon in 02. Bro, why is the colon the one you have to shift for? That's so stupid. You never use a semicolon. You got to get a 9:23 to hit sub 2.
Yeah, I don't want sub 2. I think, let me see what my...
You just got to run at 6.55 miles an hour.
Say what now? That sounds like a lot. Where do you see like your PRs at? It's on your profile.
You click the running.
Running half marathon.
It actually might say it on
2:21:05.
that. Dang, bro.
It
I'll be
does.
faster on treadmill and not on treadmill.
Well, you ought to be, bro. You're taller and skinnier. Speaking of skinny,
I don't know if we ought never mind.
Speaking of you being skinny, what's your diet looking like? Like, break me down what you eating today.
All right, let me.
Any given day.
Got my pen and trusty notebook here. I'll start writing
You have it wrote down?
All right, I wrote everything down.
Man don't even eat.
I wake up, I'll eat waffles and or cereal, right? I would say I wake up in the morning, but, well, I don't.
No protein?
Give me a minute. I gotta readjust my pens. See, I got protein right here. I had 2 of these this morning.
What is that? Your breakfast or your dessert?
That's my dinner.
Your dinner.
Yeah.
You drink 2 of those for dinner?
No, it's just what I drank when I got off work. Well, one when I got off work, one before we started this. I kind of eat whatever. I don't have a meal plan. I eat what I get in.
That's why you're so scrawny.
I wake up, eat some cereal and or some waffles or something. Then whenever I get done working out, I'll eat something. Last night I had a burger. When I got to work, I had some
You eat like DK
chicken,
Metcalf.
sausage, and pasta stuff. Some Cajun chicken, pasta, sausage stuff. And then I had a little personal pizza.
You should not eat personal pizzas. You need to eat family pizzas.
Carb.
Family pizzas.
Oh, I can't fit a family pizza in the microwave at work.
Cut it in half. They don't have. Get an oven. Tell them to get an oven.
Be working on something. Hey, where you going? I got to start the oven. Get my pizza ready for lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, Peyton is not a good example of what you need to eat.
I got asked this last night at the gym. I was like, bro, how does thou get shredded as thou?
Well, first off, you
You
probably
don't
still
eat.
under eating, even though you're just eating trash. You're definitely under eating protein.
I'm under eating. Period.
Period.
I've been at 180 for 2 years now.
Yeah, you got up there and that's it.
Yeah, I got up to like 188, 189 at one point.
Your body said, "All right, this
That
is
was
what I'm
back when
giving
I
you
was
to
eating chicken
lift
and
weights."
rice, peanut butter and jelly.
You had
My
like something
tooth
you were
got eating
actually eating.
brownies.
But you don't have to eat chicken and rice. Like that's literally the most bland meal you can eat.
You
You
just
don't
gotta
have to
eat.
eat that, or you can actually make it taste good.
I've had
Especially if you're trying to gain weight. Like you're not gaining weight and you're eating all that flavorful junk food,
I've had
highly
about
processed food.
120 grams of protein today.
Like the main thing that you could do to help yourself was just like, because I mean, if you're gonna gain weight to a certain extent, like if you're a certain size, you're trying to put on like a lot of muscle. There's only so much you could do with just like unprocessed healthy food. That needs to be your base, but you're gonna have to like supplement around. But just getting your protein in check, because I mean, if you just kept eating everything you're eating now, plus just getting protein, you'd probably get your calorie goal. The calories is the easy part. It's the protein, especially for skinny folks.
I got some MRE over here.
I hardly ever drink protein shakes right now.
We're gonna play a little game.
The more you eat, the easier it is to get protein. Like the more calories, because there's protein in
We're
like
gonna play a
everything.
game called Find the Scoop.
It's not a fun game.
I don't know where the scoop's at.
Just put your
Opened it up
hand in there.
once and I couldn't find it.
Did you put your hand in there?
Not yet. I'm about to.
Well, they're usually buried.
Oh, I found it.
See, you didn't even try.
Oh, they're not even as big of a scoop as I thought they were.
So, guys, just don't follow Peyton's diet. So here's what I eat, and I'm trying to like drop a couple pounds, which I probably need to drop my calories down because I've kind of stagnated. I'm back, Peyton. I'm back to where I was before I went to Louisiana. I went to
198.
Louisiana and put on like 5 or 6 pounds of just carbs and water. So basically, I'll try. It's the hard thing. I work out in the morning when I wake up. So the hard thing is you need a meal right when you wake up if you're gonna go to the gym right then, because you need something in you when you go to the gym. Like I felt it this morning. I didn't eat, and I felt it when I was at the gym. I was like, bro, I'm hungry. I'm feeling a little weak. So used to I would do when I was eating more, I would do a peanut butter and jelly right when I wake up. But now I'm doing like a rice cake. I was doing a banana.
Do a banana and a rice cake. Put 2 rice cakes and cut the banana up and put it under.
I don't really need all that.
Make rice cake buns.
And I can't eat a whole
It's a
bunch.
vegan burger.
It has to be super palatable for me to eat in the morning, or I'll like start gagging. Like, cause my body's like, bro,
Just
chill out.
make you a serving of this.
I usually am full when I go to bed. Like I'm stuffed.
I know a guy that's an ambassador for these people.
Roger Howell. So I'll try to do that. Like today, I forgot, just because I was like, I need to get out the door. And then when I get home, my breakfast for like the last month has been 4 eggs and a glass of milk. Huh?
That's it?
Yeah, 4 eggs and a glass of milk.
Well, them bottles of milk must just be more than a normal serving of milk.
What?
You know, like the little bottles of like chocolate milk you can buy at like Jiffy or something.
No.
They must be more than a normal serving of milk. That
Yeah,
thing's
because a
had
serving's
400
8
calories in it.
ounces. And that's probably like 12 to 16 chocolate milk. Just a regular serving of whole milk, plain, is 150 calories. So there's probably 2 servings. That's 300. Then you add the sugar and chocolate, 400. Plus, if it's shelf stable, it's more processed, which means more calories.
Which means big.
Yeah, it'd be good for you. Wouldn't be good for a normal person.
I'm
Wouldn't
about
be
to
good for
start
me.
buying those every day.
I probably need to start. I'm thinking about like starting to add some more carbs back into my breakfast. But really, I do all my gym. I carb up before I go to bed, and I hit like a little bit of carbs during my gym session. If I go on a longer run, I'll carb up before and during that. And during the long run day, it's just anything goes. I just try to shove everything in my mouth. But kind of relatively low carbs on the after I get home from the gym. I mean, there's carbs in the milk.
This stuff got 75 grams of carbs.
Keep it kind of lean. I don't have another gym session in the day, so I don't have to carb up and worry about anything after that. So I mean, I could probably switch it. But if I start the day right with like high protein, lower calorie, then it kind of gives me a good trajectory for the rest of the day. Which I'm only working with 2,800 calories, which is probably a lot for some people and not much for others. Then for lunch, I usually have rice and beef or chicken. And for dinner, I don't know, just whatever, really. Just kind of try to fit it in with the rest. I usually have made up enough ground. And sometimes I'll have a protein shake in there. Most days right now, I don't. And then if I don't, I can usually get another glass of milk or 2 in there throughout the day. And then when I go to bed, I have Greek yogurt and granola, which is like 400 calories because granola is like 270 calories. It's protein granola. And that's about 30-something grams of protein there, too. So, pretty basic, pretty much the same every day. Eventually, you get kind of tired of that, have to switch it up. But you switch one thing, you got to switch it all. But it's been working for me lately. When I get that protein shake in, it just relieves a lot of pressure of getting the protein in. But if I eat pretty healthy, just like not a whole bunch of junk, I can do without it because then I could just drink milk. A lot of it. Now, when I was trying to gain weight, I was drinking like whole milk with every meal. I'm drinking 1% right now. But I will drink whole milk if that's all I have. And I wasn't having any protein shakes then either because, I was trying to gain weight and I was eating a lot more calories. But
where
I
are the
think
rest of the percents at? You either have whole milk or you have 2%.
And 1%.
Like, where's 50% at?
I don't know. It's not that, like, the calories is like 150.
Where's like the 32% at?
It can't be like an exact percentage because the calories don't match that.
Who cares?
It's not even like 1% is half the calories. Not even half the calories. It's 2/3 the calories of whole milk. Like, that didn't make sense. Somebody out there knows why. We don't. So
I'm not
y'all
a cow
tell
milk
us,
expert.
please tell us what's going on with the milk percentages. But yeah, that's kind of what I eat. I think I'm finna drop back, maybe just so I can drop a couple more pounds. But also at the same time, I want to eat more carbs for breakfast. But like I said, just keeping that generally lean, clean breakfast,
Machine.
it gives me more room to work with on the rest of the day, which I don't really like. I'll have cheat days once or twice a week, and then
Same.
run day is like, right, you don't have cheat days because you don't even have a diet you stick to. You're cheating yourself. That's how you're cheating. So, like 1%, you have muscles like, despite, like, it's a miracle you just are how you are. Like, your body's holding on to every bit of that. Like, every bit of that's like, we're just doing what we can to survive. Like, you're not forcing anything. Some people have to
Work
eat
for it.
and work out for what they have. But I feel like there is a certain, like, there's what's optimal, and then there's what you do and what you got. And some people, like, they're like you just despite, what they like a normal person would do what you do and it'd be a complete different story. But I feel like your body's like just hanging on, man. You get 10 years older, it might be different, or you might just stay the way you are. I mean, like, look at Rich Froning. Your body's gonna like support what you do. Like, it's gonna do what it has to do to survive.
It's my biggest fan.
Yeah.
Supports me in everything
And
I
hater.
do.
Your biggest hater too. So all right, so I do have a topic for today. I don't know if you saw the
Yeah, I was wondering when we were going to talk about going to war.
going to war. We're talking about gardening, dude. Chill out. I'm trying to see something real quick. All right, there we go. Okay. So we talked about our diet. Talked about our week of running. So I went to the gym today, did some clean work. It's like a 12-minute EMOM.
Lucky you.
And it felt good. That's the thing about cleans with me. Like, the weight's going to feel really good until I get to like, so I'm like, I'll hit like 10 pounds under my max and be like, okay, yeah. And then like do like 2 pounds over my max and like it won't even come close. Like, it's like I have something there just blocking me from PR and my clean.
You got
Which
a mental block,
usually,
man.
yeah, it's probably just a lack of doing the work. But
Yeah, that too.
usually,
You never work out, so.
no, that's not it. Usually when I do like a whole bunch of like hard clean progressions, that's when I PR, and I haven't done that in over a year. So snatches though, what got me to where I'm at now recently, like there's, you have those different stages of life, you're doing different things and you'll PR, you'll make these jumps and then it just won't work. So this most recent time, like you just going to the gym and doing what you've been doing, you haven't put on any strength in a year or so. Rest in peace, old Peyton from 2022. But
To be fair, I was out for like 2 months.
where'd you go?
I cried.
All right, so that was your secret. Which I'm not expecting to PR, but last time I PR'd my snatch, I was like snatching like 3+ times a week. I don't even know what I was doing, but it's just like different things work. Like, and it's going to work differently for different people at different stages in their life. Like, the main thing I feel like is just going in there and working hard and not giving up prematurely. Because it's going to get hard before it gets. I mean, putting 100 pounds on your squat, it's still 100 pounds. And it's still going to be really heavy.
It'll be easy.
It may be easy one day, but you're still lifting more than you've ever lifted in your life. So it's not like you're going to go in there and lift all these weights and then all of a sudden it's light. I mean, it may be, it's still going to be heavy. You're just going to be better at lifting heavy weights. So that's our gym update. We
That's
missed
your
y'all
gym
last
update.
week. We missed y'all last week. We were too busy running. So
I'm not lying. We were running Monday.
Yeah, we were running Monday, even though it's not when we filmed. But
We
so a
also
couple,
running on the days we filmed.
yeah,
I was anyway.
I think I might have took that day off.
He was driving.
Yeah, I was working, so we weren't being lazy. So a few months ago, well, I've another subject. I've been kind of slacking on my YouTube since Trevor left. The editing responsibilities have been on me, and that has cut into my editing time for YouTube, at least my editing motivation. If I sit down and do it, I can do it, but there's not a immediate reward or any type of instant gratification to do it. Besides, I mean, I drop it and people watch it. That's fun, but like I could go Uber and then I'm getting paid like right there. Or I can do my job and I'm getting paid. But like with YouTube and the podcast, it's like, all right, I'm doing the work, but I may not get any benefit from this financially for like years, if I ever do, you know? So it's kind of hard, and it kind of makes it harder to be motivated to come in here and do it, and disciplined at least. I know you suck at making shorts. Like, you don't suck at making shorts. You just don't do it. And that, if y'all are watching this is Peyton's job to do the shorts. Mainly his job, which I do some of them too. And look at our short schedule.
I'll go do one real quick.
Yeah, during the podcast. But, you know, as time goes on, motivation wanes. When you're starting a podcast, you're like, heck yeah. And then 3 months later, you're like, well, you know.
To be fair, man, when we started the podcast, I was doing all right on shorts.
You were doing all right for a few months, and then you just...
And then I slacked off, and then I got back.
So what I'm saying is, we both slack at certain things. So this is just I don't even have a resolution. I'm just talking, bro. I don't. I know people out there have the
He's
same.
a little pissed off.
Have the same
right
struggle. What?
I said you're a little pissed off right now. You ranting?
Nah, I'm fine. I'm just saying, like, you know, it is what it is. I was just something I was thinking about, because I can like easily wear myself down Ubering, but I'm not finna stay up. You know, this is just my mindset right now. It probably needs to change. I'm not finna stay up 3 hours late editing a YouTube video, which I should. But it's a lot easier to accept the next day that I'm tired, or that, okay, my recovery's a little off, whenever I'm getting paid to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little easier to take the time for the podcast, because I feel like, I mean, you're dependent on me to edit the podcast and put it out on Monday. It's not like you're dependent on it, but you're part of it. And if I don't do it, you're going to be like, dude, where's the podcast? And there's other people that listen to the podcast that are going to say the same thing, which, Jose, where you at, bro? And nobody called us out last week when we didn't upload, which that was just, we didn't have the we didn't have the time. Dude just came here with snot all over him. But anyways,
somebody decided to Uber.
Yeah,
and we get that instant gratification.
Well, it's work. So
is it though?
That's just something.
It's work. It's not a job.
It's more of a job than it is work. Anyways, back to what I was wanting. I don't know why I said that, but maybe just to put that out there. I don't know. Y'all ever have anything in y'all's life where y'all deal with that? All right. So a couple months ago, I decided, you could probably see it on my YouTube channel when it happened, which I actually made a video. I don't even know if I put it out, but I made a video talking about this. But like, I decided to stop like tiptoeing around and stop like trying to cater to everybody, and just kind of, I don't know. I feel like I heard people say niche down, speak out for what you believe in. That's what's gonna grow your audience. And it makes sense too, because a lot of people that I watch and listen to, you know, they're not just like, there's certain podcasts and stuff that cater to super wide audiences. They tiptoe around. They don't really speak out on any type of issues, and those really don't resonate with me as much as the ones that do the opposite. They speak out for what they believe in, and they're not afraid to step on a toe every once in a while if it's for something that they believe in. So like a couple months ago, you might remember, like I decided to stop. Like, all right, bro, we're gonna start talking about stuff that it could get us canceled. People may not like it, but oh well. I'm gonna start talking about Jesus. I'm gonna start shooting guns in my videos. Whatever. I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna if it pushes some people away, that's fine. I'm gonna find my people, basically. So this is kind of what I want to talk about today, Peyton, which he had no idea what I wanted to talk about. Which these ideas just come to me and like, I got like a whole thing of notes here. Got your eggs?
Yes.
So here's a quote. You probably heard it, but it's like, I don't even know. I'm trying to, like, a lot of this I'm still processing, and it has to do with like American, being a patriot, being an American, being just versus being like Jesus, which a lot of times I feel like we give up the Jesus a lot of times to be more American, which that's a hard thing. But at the same time, I feel like we have overcorrected because, a lot of used to it'd be like, this is the truth. And like people were just straight up mean about it. Like, forget you sinner, you're going to hell. Like, that's not Jesus. But at the same time, he flipped some tables, and one thing I'd like to say is Jesus ate with the sinners. He fellowshiped with the sinners, but the people that he was most vocal against, and the people he were most aggressive against, were the Pharisees, the people in the church that got him wrong. But this is like a lot. You got anything to say? Because this is like I have like 10 different line of thoughts going right now. Like, this could go anywhere.
Shout out.
Shout out. So here's a quote. What one generation tolerates, the next will celebrate. And I'm not even going to call out any specific examples.
I was thinking of a perfect example.
I mean, say it if you want to say it.
Are we going to get canceled? Or...
Yeah, I don't know. So,
how do you get canceled if you're not a thing?
I mean, you could say what you're going to say, and I could say something else. But, like, you can't.
I mean,
most of the people.
We own the topic, right? Christianity. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying we own that topic.
Well, here I am tiptoeing again because I don't want to be mean. Like used to, traditionally the church would, like, they're pushing everybody away, and then they flipped to where they just pulled everybody in to the fact, like, oh, everything's right, like you could do whatever, what's the there's no truth, they're like that. And
we used to tolerate homosexuality, and now it's celebrated.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured you were gonna say. And now it's somewhere, I feel like there's a balance, because you could say, being, homosexual is a sin. But at the same time, you can still love them. You don't have to yell at them and hate people just because, your sin looks different. Look, guess what? Homosexuality is a sin. And look, sex before marriage is a sin. And I know way more people that do that than they do homosexuality. And it's usually the same people that are doing one thing, talking about another, just because it looks different. Look, me and Peyton, we both have sin, right? So I'm not scared to call out that, certain sin. But at the same time, I'm not going to like alienate these people, push them away because, oh, you're a sinner, We, like I said, me and Peyton, we both sin as well. And we both, what's he pulling up here? Hey, that's a good picture. So this is two graphs. All right, one says how we see sin, and you see, all right, some sins are rated above others, blah, blah, blah. And then it says how God sees sin on the top view, and it's all the same. Like,
I pulled that up too late. We were kind of on that, and then we kind of left it. But anyway.
Jesus died for our sins. And look, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I'm not about the hate. I'm not about, Westboro. I guess it's Westboro Baptist. Like just yelling at people, God hates you, you're going to hell. Like, that's not the gospel. The gospel is good news. The good news, Jesus loves you. He died for you. Accept that. So, do it. What's that? That one song dude was like, love Jesus or I'm going to shoot or something. What did he say? You remember that song?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I listened to it this morning. It's funny. He said, praise God or I'm going to shoot or something. Being crazy. I don't recommend that at all. So
I do recommend the praising God part, not the shooting part.
Back to the, I don't know, there's certain things you could say a quote, and it can still not be true. It could be a really good quote. It could be a really good line of thinking, Calvinism.
You miss
very linear, and it still be wrong, right? And come at me, Calvinist. Peyton, you're probably a Calvinist. you don't even know what that is, do you?
I know it's not Calvin.
Exactly. So, what one generation tolerates, the next will celebrate. I can think of some examples. But at the same time, I don't mean it's true, but, just think about this. If someone doesn't speak the truth, nobody's going to. Like, somebody's got to do it. And for the longest time, I feel like I tiptoed around because I wanted to have a wider reach, right? I wanted to reach out to more people. And I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But at the same time, I'm at that place now where I'm like, the truth is the truth, right? The truth's going to set you free. That's the Bible. That's the Bible. That's on God.
That's on Jah.
So, I mean, but at the same time, you can't be going around hating on folks, which me telling the truth, it's really about the tone and about like you going out on the street preaching the truth. That's probably that's not effective, right? Because these people don't know you. It's better to build the relationships, but at the same time, don't tiptoe. Don't be fake. Like you're not out here fishing. You're being fishers of men, but you're not out here, being a fake worm out there in the water and snatching them. That's not a good analogy, but I said something.
To know where that was going.
I didn't know either. I just come up with it. So you got that people that are just mean. It's the truth. Whatever. But you got the other people that are like, they're not going to say anything that's going to offend anybody. Sometimes the truth offends you. Sometimes criticism hurts. And it's not them. Sometimes it is. But it's not them being hateful. It's not them judging you. When somebody says something is a sin, it's not being judged. They're not the judge. We're not the only. God is the judge. And that's not something people like, only God can judge me. Okay. Look, correction is correction. It's not judgment. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's perfect. It does say in the Bible, don't, that people like to quote that verse that's like, don't judge, but it's like, clear out the plank from your eye before you worry about the speck in another's. Okay. You get the plank out, then you can do the speck. But it's not about being mean. And
Matter of fact, it's about being nice.
it's, people are always like, oh, people are always pushing Christianity on people, and they're not, bro. If you really believe the Bible, if you really believe Jesus and the gospel and all that, how can you not spread it?
So
If you're being hateful by not spreading it,
that's
because
always something that's bugged me.
Because if you
the
don't,
idea.
go ahead.
Keep going.
If you don't, you're literally allowing these people to go to hell. Like, if I'm like, okay, well, I just want my son. He's right here. He's literally right beside the camera. If I just want Rylan to just, decide on his own, and I don't want to push it on him. If he dies tomorrow, it's my fault he never heard of Jesus. That's my responsibility. If you really love somebody, you're going to tell them about Jesus. Because if you don't, you're sending them to hell.
That's one of them things that's always bugged me is people always like to say, like, oh, stop forcing your religion on people or stop trying to push your religion on others. And I've always seen that. I'm just like, they're not even trying to push it on you, right? They're doing their job. They believe in God, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. The Bible instructs each and every one of us to spread the gospel. They are literally doing what they've been called to do, or what some people would say they believe they've been called to do. And all they're doing is spreading the gospel. They're not saying, oh, you believe in Jesus or I'm going to shoot you. Like that song says, whatever that song is. I still don't know.
Yeah, the dude's being funny.
Like, it's nothing like that. It's not like you're not being held at gunpoint to be like, oh, believe
it's for
in
your
Jesus
benefit.
or I'm going to shoot you. Oh, they're literally just doing their job of spreading the gospel. Right? They're telling you about Jesus.
Right. It's like,
but then they'll turn around and wear their rainbow-colored backpacks and stuff all around. I don't know. That's the first thing I thought over the backpack.
What? It's more than just. Also, it's more than just keeping people out of hell too. Like, we want you to experience the love of God. Like, when you really experience that, it changes your life for the better.
Anybody that wants to go to heaven, is wanting to go for the wrong reasons.
And even if heaven is a thing, that's another podcast.
Yeah, they come back to a new earth and
So, like we said, man, there's some people that are just they're gonna speak the truth. They're gonna be mean. They're gonna be hateful. And, those people are wrong. But it's also wrong. I feel like I'm coming to the conclusion it's wrong to be on the complete opposite of that. Like, you never reach out. You never speak out. You never stand up for what you believe in. Because, look, they're like, if there's not people that speak out and speak up, eventually, one day in the United States, you won't be able to. Like, you'll be jailed. You'll be killed. Like, this happens on all the other places of the world.
Just watch Manifest, right? These people.
Too. So, like, it's like, if you don't use your right to speak while it's here, we're gonna lose it. And really, the main solution to all the world's problems, which it's Jesus, and it's not just like, oh, preach the gospel and then, never give people food to eat, basically, which is what some people think. Like, don't touch any of the other issues, but like, let love rule your life, man. And if the love's not coming from Jesus, it's not love.
What's love got to do?
Everything. Yeah, like, I'm hitting like different sides because I'm not the type of person that, like, I hate when people, like, somebody was talking about, like, I don't know really much anything about Tyler Childers, But like, you know, he come out with that music video with I haven't watched it, but it's like a gay couple or whatever. And like people were talking about him last night, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's like this super liberal." I'm like, did they just like see that one video and think he aligns with everything that like Democrats are pushing now, just because you know he supports gay marriage or whatever? And like people make these assumptions about everybody, like if you support one thing, somebody says you support everything they say, which is not true. Most people have very nuanced views about stuff, which that's another topic as well. I mean, we got all these years of our life left to podcast, and we got all these topics. So we don't want to hammer them all today, but
Jot them down. Which
jot
one
them
was that
down,
one?
guys.
I
Put
did
them in the
number 12.
comments. Y'all do our work. Look, if y'all are watching, find some timestamps of some shorts we could do. That's our job too. So also,
who
like,
wants to be paid by me personally to do shorts?
I got somebody to do shorts, but it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars.
I don't have hundreds of dollars.
You have thousands. Okay, so, but anyways,
Hundreds.
there's also people that think every criticism, every little critique, and somebody, every time they get offended, like if you get offended, that's your fault. It's not the person's fault. Like they might have could said it a little nicer, but people could say mean things to you and try to offend you, and you not be offended. I talked to Peyton Franklin about this one time. He was like, he said something offended him. He said something offended him, and I was like, okay, well, like this is being offended is on you. Like you don't have to be offended at everything. Like people could be really mean to you, and you just be like, what's that supposed to mean? You know, like that doesn't mean anything to me. Or you could be like, every little thing can offend you. Which I'm not saying. That's just something we talked about before. I'm not saying he's just offendable. But every critique, every piece of truth, every time you get offended, you need to check your heart. Like, because it's not hate. Like, just because somebody disagrees with you, they're not hating you. Like, and that's the problem. People think that there's not much dialogue. Like, people are just quoting and people are just posting, and they're not having real interactions with real people. Like when you actually talk to somebody that disagrees with you, you could probably figure out where they're coming from. It may not change your belief, and it probably shouldn't. If you really believe something, you should know why you believe it. You should be able to have a conversation with somebody about it and have a relationship with them still. Like I have relationships with people that I disagree with. And we're not punching each other every day. If I saw Peyton, I'd probably punch him every day.
What do you disagree with me on?
I don't even know. You not doing shorts?
That's just a grievance.
You should be offended.
No. I don't get offended. It's a grievance.
I'm going to file an appeal.
Only when people break my heart. That's when I get offended.
I'm going to file an appeal. But yeah, if y'all get offended a lot, there's a common denominator. And it's you.
A lot.
So check your heart. Words of people should not affect you like that. So I got more notes, I think. Which we haven't even touched on the topic, but here's the topic. I want to know. It's not just here's something I wrote down here. It's not just the whole topic. But like people just expect, this is a very political. So this is a political stretch. If you don't like politics, just listen. Anyways, because you know the voting thing, last election. How do we know if elections were stolen or not? We just have to trust what people say. Like we don't know if any of our votes even matter.
I trust the goat.
So it's not unreasonable for me to think, like, we can go back to January 6th. For me to think that people would be like, if they really think that the election was stolen, what other option do they have than to protest it? And it was not an insurrection. Because if there was an insurrection, people would have, they would have killed people. Not just accidentally, had somebody die. Like, it would have been chaos. Like, it was an, in my opinion, from my view, because I watched it live. Like, I was watching the news live when this happened. It was a protest gone wrong. But what do you think? Is the insurrection or not? It was a very bad insurrection if it was an insurrection. But back to my point. I'm trying to get this canceled. If you really think like your vote doesn't matter, what are you going to do to change that? Like, what's the only option? If you think the whole government is corrupt, whether it's true or not, because how do you even know it's true? All you can do is trust what people are saying. But if it's all corrupt, they're going to be lying to you anyway. And then what do you believe? What's the only option? If the government is completely corrupt and they're stealing the election, like the election's rigged, if that's the truth, whether you know it or not, like, what's the only option?
Who?
I'm not encouraging this. I'm just trying to walk down this line of thinking. And, a lot of people that say that don't realize what that means. They don't realize that means their family probably is going to die. Right? If you go into a war or a coup, an actual insurrection, it's very highly likely that your family will be a casualty. You will be a casualty. And the people that are actually saying that, they don't really believe they want to go into that. But I'm the type of person that if I'm gonna, the more I dig into politics, and the more if I really believe, because I'm a very committed person, and if I'm believing in something, I'm gonna believe into it. I'm gonna believe it. When I got into the Jesus stuff, I got into the Jesus stuff. I'm still there. And the more I dive into which I have to back up from the politics stuff, because the more I dive into it, the more I lean into this is not going to end good. I don't see it going very well. But I was talking to somebody one time, and I was like, I couldn't believe the words coming out of my mouth. They were talking about how everything was so corrupt. They're gonna take the guns. They're gonna, their votes don't even count. And I was like, if y'all really believe that, there would be violence, which I do not support that. And man, I'm not encouraging that. You know what I mean? By any means. Which I really don't want war to happen. But here we are. Warriors in a garden. Which I think Jesus was just a gardener. I don't know. Some people say he was a warrior, but I don't know. They expected a warrior and got a gardener. If you don't know what I'm referencing.
Planted his seeds.
Mary came to look for Jesus, and Jesus showed up to her. And she thought he was the gardener. So that's why I'm calling Jesus the gardener. But, this is where I'm at currently. I've discussed this on the podcast. You got the right as an American for self-defense to carry guns and all that. what would Jesus do? That's what I want to know. And it's not the most comfortable or comforting thing. I think that Jesus would be pacifist, I think. But at the same time, he flipped tables. He took a whip out, bro. So I think there's this constant tension in me trying, like, some days I'm like, if they want to kill me, let them kill me, chop my head off. Because that may be what it takes to, like, if I have to be the martyr, I'll be the martyr. But at the same time, it's like, heck no, if you want to touch my family, I'm going to kill you, bro. Like, I'm thinking, like, there's some of this stuff that people do. Like, I'm like, this is me being honest. Like, and among people that are highly Americanized, they're going to be like, heck yeah, bro. But among, like, people that are highly Jesus-ized, which is, I've never heard that before, but we'll go with it.
You just made that
Like,
up.
it's going to be frowned upon. But, like, if I get to thinking about, like, something that somebody could do to my kids or my family, like, when I see these stories, I'm just like, bro, I'm trying to think of a story. But, like, it's like, bro, there's not much keeping me from resulting in violence. Like, besides the fact that I'll probably end up dead. But back to our question, man. If you do it the right way, if you're patient, if you don't result in violence, it may end up in your favor through the course, through the long term. The damage is going to already be done, maybe more than repairable. But at the same time, I don't know. You did it right, maybe. And the police are going to side with the government. We're getting into some, like, this is just something, like, if it came down to it, that I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know if you even know where I'm going. But, like, if it came down to it, that, there's always the story that they're going to come for your guns or whatever. And you got some people that say they're going to fight. They're going to, like, have a shootout over their guns. And then there's, like, I'm like, man, what do I do? Like, do I have a shootout or do I just give them up? I think just laying them down
Which one sounds more fun?
Would be more Christ-like. But at the same time, when you give up the guns, you give all this up. You have to have faith, I think, to be able to lay down your guns and trust that God's going to take care of you, even though it's going to go bad. I think that Americans having the Second Amendment is probably the only thing keeping the First Amendment around and keeping, like, total dictatorships and communism away. I mean, every time they implemented those things, they took the guns away right before they did bad things. Other governments, which we're probably gonna get shut down, bro. I probably said something that's gonna get me arrested. Which, like I said, I don't support violence. Don't want that at all. I'm just trying to, like, do y'all really believe what y'all are saying? This is what I want. Because if it's true that the elections are stolen, there's no point in voting. We already have, basically, I don't even know it, like, a dictatorship at that point. Like, I don't know what you would do. And
they're stolen at that point. Like, they're not going
it's
to
over.
Get out of office.
Right. It's over. America is over. Like, the United States is over at that point.
We're already owned by a puppet. Oh, wait, I said too much. That's another podcast.
Owned. Like, so is it better to be a gardener in a war or a warrior in a garden? This is, of course, a Jordan Peterson quote, which a gardener in a war, it's not very useful, but a warrior in a garden, I mean,
you can kill all them weeds.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
The weed warrior.
being more Christ-like would be more gardening. But at the same time, maybe some people are called to be warriors. I don't know. Some days I want to be a warrior, and some days I'm like the opposite. I'm like, Jesus, I want to be like Jesus. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I just hope that when the day comes, I say when, that I have to make a decision, that God just leads me in what to do. Whether I need to lay down my guns, whether I need to lay down my life, whether that it means in a gunfight. I'm not talking about like with the government, like if we get invaded or something, or like people like come up and
You
was like,
join
"You're
Oxford
Christians, I'm going to
PD.
kill you." Whether I'm going to fight back or whether I'm going to just stick my neck out, I hope that God will give me the faith to do what He wants me to do. I don't know what else I want to say here. But just, I mean, do y'all understand what I'm saying? If y'all really believe, which I'm not saying because I don't know, like, what's the truth? And I don't think we can know. At the scale of our government, like, what's happened,
The
what's
truth is
happening
always
is
hidden.
already happening. What'd you say?
So the truth is hidden. Just think about it, right? When you have people whose names start with H and ends in Hillary Clinton walking around still, you know the truth. The truth is hidden.
It's definitely, I think the days of it being a free country, like I was saying, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. Like the freedom of speech. Yeah, speak out while you can.
At this point,
it may bite you, and at this point, it's probably going to bite you because everything is this forever, and if they don't like what you're saying, they can just cancel you. Whether it be that you're crazy and
if you
need
say
to be
something they
quiet.
don't like, they can call your college and get you kicked out. They can call your career and get you kicked out all because you disagree with them.
Right, and some people do say crazy stuff, but it's their right. It's not going to hurt you. Like, words can't hurt you. You don't remember that? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can't hurt you. Yeah, you can get your feelings hurt.
But
or
that
you
is
can
if
just
you
stop
take
listening
offense
to
to
them.
it.
Do what?
That is if they take offense to it.
Yeah, it's up to you whether they hurt you or not. And if it's somebody so off the wall and crazy, people aren't really going to listen to them. I mean, you got Alex Jones, I guess. He's crazy, but from what I hear, he was right about some stuff. But, that's just where we live in. I think, it's only a matter of time before, you don't have freedom of speech. So you need to use it before you lose it. And that might put your life on the line. That might put your livelihood on the line. I don't even think we have freedom of speech anymore because everywhere we speak is owned by a private company that will be, they're more of editors now than just platforms. All
It's
right,
like
so
I've said before, it's like you can't have opinions. Like if
they stink
if you can't, like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Generate your own opinions and speak out about them without receiving backlash from it. There's no such thing as freedom of speech.
Right.
Like freedom of
you could
speech
say,
is no longer a part of the First Amendment at this
I understand
point.
what you're saying, but at the same time, platform-wise, like these are supposed to be platforms. That's why they're not very regulated. But they're being editors because they are cutting down on one opinion and not the other. And, that's a different topic. But at the same time, you're free to say whatever you want, but you're not free from the consequences of what other people are going to think or react to it. But that shouldn't be regulated by the government, what you say, what you can and cannot say. And then we don't have freedom of speech. And if you're going to be a platform, you have to let everybody speak. Oh yeah, Carson said your opinion doesn't matter, Peyton. So he's on Facebook. He said no one expects the warrior in the garden if you portray yourself as a gardener in the garden. This is something that's just always like the dichotomy of being American versus the dichotomy of trying to be like Jesus. And I feel like just like the truth and the just never saying anything anybody will ever be offended by, it's kind of like the same. You need to be somewhere in the middle, I think, because, just because. I think it does require more faith to not like have guns, or to be completely like Jesus is portrayed in the Bible. I think it requires more faith, just like it would require more faith to not have a job. Because this is kind of what we're talking about, Carson. But I have a book of a guy. He didn't have a job. He literally lived on God's provision. Like, he'd have faith for the next dollar he needed. And I think that's a legit thing. But most people are going to have jobs. And I think you can have faith to not have a job. But also, and it does require faith. I think that's kind of similar to the self-defense thing. Because you can have a job, so you make sure you have money. You can have a gun, so you make sure you have protection. Or you can have faith that God will protect you.
But it's just a backup piece,
You're having faith in something. You can have faith in Jesus, or you can have faith in yourself. It's just a backup gun. I'm trusting God. If he doesn't come through, I got this gun.
I got the backup piece, bro.
That's kind of what we're talking about, Carson. Patriotism versus Christianity. I've been diving more into patriotism than, I think being a patriot is being of the world. Like, if you're fully, like, there's people online that are super patriotic, not very Christian, and we can agree with a lot of stuff they talk about. I'm sure we both follow people like that. But then there's also, like, the other side, where, like, people that are super Jesus, I think we as an American church, me and you, Peyton, which I feel like we can represent stuff, but we more align, which, whether that's good or bad, we more align with, patriotism and the world. I feel like we've drifted, but at the same time, I'm trying to become more Christ-like, and I just want, no matter what, I want God to give me the faith to live like him, whether that means, whatever that means. All right, I think a lot of people confuse having true faith with being hopeful for an outcome. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to have faith. Having faith is trusting God, whether you're walking on the mountain or the valley, whether God tells you to give away all your money, sometimes he'll give you the faith to do something, and it doesn't turn out like you want it to do, but in that moment, down the road, you may see the end. You may not see the positive outcome from it until you die. But dying is only the beginning for us. So KB says, I'll give my taxes this season, but not my allegiance. Yeah, KB, he steps on some toes, but he's not wrong. I think I read his book. Okay, I read his book. I'm still reading it. And he does say a lot of stuff that steps on my toes. And I don't think the January 6th thing was Christ-like. But I don't think that it was an insurrection either. It was a bad thing. But it wasn't, it wasn't what they're trying to make it out to be.
But I also think it's
people have done way worse and had no punishment.
Yeah, I'm also thinking it's one of those many things that are done by, the right wing of the political spectrum, and that people decide to really over, like, what's the word I'm trying to think of, like, explode the actual, I really can't think of what they're making it seem bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
Right, like, yes, it was a protest that got out of hand. I still don't know the exact details. I never cared to know. I mean, it's not something that, Americans should be proud of, and I don't think any American's proud of it. It just kind of got a little out of hand, but it's definitely being blown out of proportion. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, blown out of proportion.
As are most things done by right wing people of the. You don't see anything
people
left
in the
wing blown out
Congress
of proportion.
definitely, they were fearing for their life. Some of them, a lot of them, because it hit closer to home. When they're sitting in Washington D.C. and their city's burning down, they're not as worried about it because it's not down the hall. Let's see what January 6th and the consequences from it was only possible due to the suspension of habeas corpus during the initial phase of the war on terrorism, so we can interrogate and confine suspected terrorists without having to follow the judicial process. Yeah. It wasn't an act of terrorism. It's just a protest that went crazy. But whatever. We're not going to talk about that anymore. I hope.
Podcast for another day.
That's definitely a way to get canceled. But everybody's got an opinion. I'm willing to hear it out. It wasn't good. KB says stuff about January 6th in his book, and that's what it wasn't Christ-like. That's for sure. And there was a lot of hateful stuff. There were racists in the crowd. There were some hateful things in the crowd, but that doesn't mean that there's racists that claim Christianity. There's hateful people that claim Christianity. Does that mean I'm going to abandon Christianity? No. Just because there's a couple sour apples doesn't mean you need to cut the whole tree down. Some people like sour apples.
What's wrong with sour apples?
I don't like sour apples. I like sweet apples. But I don't know. We're all over the place.
Just because the watermelon got seeds in it don't mean you throw the whole thing away.
One second I'm like, what are we gonna do? We gotta get the guns. We gotta be violent. And the next one, like, be Jesus. Lay your guns down. I'm just trying to give y'all an idea of stuff, thoughts. It's okay to have these, like, I'm not saying, like, it's probably not okay to want to just go, result in violence. But violence may come to your door. It may come to your garden. And that's kind of what we're talking about.
They may start picking at your tomatoes.
Yeah, they might come and try to take your tomatoes, man. They might come get your chickens. So, what you going to do? Are you going to just be like, take it all, man? Here's my others. Like, they ask for your shirt, give them your cloak, something like that. Are you going to be like that, or are you going to shoot them?
If a soldier asks you to walk a mile, carry stuff for a mile, you carry it for 22 miles.
Carson said, when's the commercials? I got to get back to work. We finna wrap it up. I'm just trying to come up with a good statement to summarize it all and try to keep us from being imprisoned. So what I'm saying, it's okay. Like, if you're a Christian in America, maybe anywhere in the world, there's going to be that thought of, fight back or stick your neck out.
Choose your path wisely.
Yeah, so
be a
whatever
warrior
you
when
do,
a warrior is needed.
I think God could lead you to do either. I think it is noble, and as long as just have faith to do whatever God tells you to do. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not one to say people that are pacifists are wrong. They they're weak, they're scared or whatever. I'm not going to say that. I think they're probably stronger Christians than the people that will pick up arms. But at the same time, I don't want to say that people that fight aren't Christian. I think you could be somewhere in there. I don't know. Well, y'all got anything to say? Because we said some controversial stuff, and this may be our last episode. We may have to start a Patreon and just do it there. This could have been a good Patreon discussion, dude. If we had a Patreon. Hey, bud. I'm finna have to wrap it up today, Boogaloo time. Yeah. So, but what y'all think, man? Carson, I don't know if you heard me say it, but I was like, if you really believe that the government is corrupt and the election was stolen and your vote doesn't count, what's the only option? And I could see that me being like, no violence. At the same time, I could see why, if someone was to do an insurrection one day, I could understand why. I mean, maybe the government's not corrupt and the election's not stolen, but if you don't know what the truth is, if you don't know who to believe, because the media is saying two different things, I mean, what is the end result? You're going to find the truth out, right? Or are you going to make a new truth? 99 stars. What is this? I don't even know if anybody follows me. You follow me, Peyton?
I follow you, Dilly Young.
On Instagram, Twitter.
What was
Facebook.
Our ending statement?
I don't know.
Be a warrior when a warrior is needed, but be a gardener
What y'all
at
think?
all times.
What y'all think? Gardener or warrior? We didn't really dive into that topic much, but a warrior can garden and he can fight. If you're just a gardener, you're not gonna be very good at fighting. I just imagine if you're real skinny, out of shape, or fat, you're not gonna be a good warrior. Your little AR-15 ain't gonna do much when you can't run. So, if it ever comes to that,
and your running ain't gonna do very much if you ain't got an AR-15.
So,
accelerated reading 15.
Yeah.
Points.
So y'all get after it. Go put some work in the gym, just so you can be healthy.
Join us for our 4x4x24 we'll be doing in a few weeks. He doesn't know anything about it until now.
I gotta go to the bathroom, so we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Appreciate y'all for watching. Everybody tell Peyton Cook good night.
I'll be more energetic next podcast. I'm sleepy.
All right, so we'll see you guys next time. Look, Grateful Apparel. They had, like, last time I looked at the site, bro, they had $9 t-shirts. Go use my code in the comment in the description and get you a discount on that. And then I'll get paid. Also, go to those links on my Amazon and order whatever you're going to order. So I will see you guys next time. Put work in. Get hard. What else do we say? Peyton.cook. Don't start an insurrection. Be like Jesus. Unless Jesus says. Okay. Bye.
I would imagine Jesus would own an AR-15, right?
I don't know, bro. He did say take your sword with you when you go. So, I don't know. It's okay not to know.
He's going to be ready. From heaven packing. I'm sorry.
Either have enough faith to not be ready or be ready. So, I'll see you guys next time.
Uptown. Peace out.
Peace out.